Hi class, Coach Nash here. We're going to go ahead and do our assessment for the first time for this semester, and I'm going to explain how you are going to do this at home, and then we'll go through our breath duration, and then we'll do a brief warm-up, and then we'll get right into it. During the assessment, I'm not going to edit the video. I'm just going to let it run, and what you're going to do at home is you're just going to pause the video in between each exercise that we're assessing. Okay, so you'll hear me say, go ahead and pause the video, because some of these you're going to do on your own without me, and then some you'll do with me guiding you through it. Okay, so just to be very clear about that. So you'll want to have your video, watching your video set up really close to you, so you'll be able to pause and then attempt the exercise and then put your result in and then play the video again. Okay, so the first thing is that you're going to make sure that you're either writing down your results on just a piece of paper or logging it in your phone while you're going through it, or if you're actually printing out the assessment, which is the document that I've uploaded under assignments, you can put your results in there, and then you can just take a picture of it and then send me the results. So however you want to send the results, it's up to you, as long as I get them. We are answering all of the number ones in the left side column, so I have this as reference. So you'll see there's ones here, twos, and threes. We're just going to put all of our results in the number one slots. And at the top, you'll notice that it says, why are you taking this class? I just want you to make sure to write a response there as well. And then the class, I would like you just to put Mat Pilates online. So I know that this is my online class that I'm teaching. So the breath duration. So what we're going to do is we're just going to practice the breathing. And then again, I'm just going to have you pause the video, and then you'll just time yourself. But you're just basically timing one breath. So you can use your phone, you can use a clock on the wall, your watch, or you can just count to yourself. And you're just counting how long it takes you to breathe one time. So the moment that you start to inhale and the moment that you stop exhaling, and you're just counting that duration. When you're practicing the breathing before you test, just make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall and you're getting the most out of your lungs when you're doing this. You're going to want to do this very slowly and methodically. So that just means that you're really focusing on the slowest, deepest inhale that you can take. And then when you transition into that exhale and you're blowing that air out, just slowly transition into an exhale, and that's when you really want to slow down that exhale and push it out as far as you can to get the most out of that exhale. And then you're done, and that's it. So practice some breathing before you test, and then give it one final test, and then write down your results under breath duration number one, and then come on back. So go ahead and pause the video, and then do your test for breath duration, and then press play when you're done. Okay, so you're done with your breath duration. So we're gonna move on to our warm-up. So just making sure that we have put a result in that breath duration before we begin this. If you didn't do so, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and just come up onto your knees, and we're just going to start with some nice, easy gentle shoulder rolls. And we're just lifting the shoulders and then pushing them back. And then we're going to reverse, and we'll go the opposite direction. Now we're going to do some head rolls. So I'm just going to dip my chin down. And I'm going to roll my head to the side, and then back to center and to the other side. And so just gentle rolls of my head back and forth. back to center. We're going to go to tabletop position. So if you've taken yoga before, you know this cat and cow exercise. We're going to go to table, so hands and knees. And this is where we're just limbering up our spine and our lower back. And so we're just increasing the flexibility. And so what we'll do is we'll just arch our back and pull our hips up behind us. And we're going to lift our head up for that cow. For our cat, we're going to tuck our hips under and pull our pelvis forward. And then we're going to reach up with our middle of our back towards the sky and drop our head. And so we're pulling our abdominal wall up so that we're rounding our back for our cat. And we'll just go back and forth, transitioning from one to the next, just slowly arching and rounding. And you'll start to feel that lower back start to open up. Good. All right, so now from here, I'm going to go into this exercise I call dynamic. So I want you to bring your hands forward. And I want you to pull your hips down. So our back is flat, our arms are locked out. And now I'm going to transfer my weight back by hinging back, keeping my arms down and locked out. I'm going to bring my trunk down and my head down. And then I'm going to come forward, hinging forward with my hips. Okay? So I'm just forward and back. Little dynamic movement, getting my arms warm with holding my weight, hips activated with some movement. Good. And that's it. We're going to go ahead and come to a seated position. Okay. So we're moving on to the 100. And this is another exercise where you're going to pause the video and you're going to practice this yourself and keep count and then write down your result. But I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the exercise. I want to start with our arms, so I want you to practice this with me before we go to our backs. So the pumping of the arms, first of all, the 100 is a warm-up exercise that we will practice every session. It's a warm-up of the breath coordinating with the movement of the pumping of the arms, but also practicing the scooping and the holding of the strength in our abdominal wall. Okay, so there's 3 things going on. We also have to count, and so we're going to use our fingers as counters, but I'm going to show you what the pumping looks like without being on our backs. We're just going to sit here, and I want you just to reach out with your arms with your palms facing down, and we're just going to pump up and down, maybe, I don't know, anywhere between a half a foot and 12 inches, right? And we're just up and down. And we're creating some resistance so our arms are nice and strong. Now the pumping, we're synchronizing with our breathing. So I'm going to pump 5 pumps of my arms with a full inhale. So, and then I'm going to go into my exhale. So that's 10 total pumps of my arms and 1 total breath. So 5 pumps for an inhale, 5 pumps for an exhale. Does that make sense? That's 1 total breath. We're going to go 10 total breaths, and we're going to go 100 pumps of the arms. Ideally, that's what we're trying to do. But we're going to do this with a position that we're going to hold, and I'll show you that. So that's what you're going to do with your arms. You're going to pump and breathe, coordinating the pumping with the inhale and the exhale. Now, when you get through 1 breath and 10 total pumps, I like to just drop a finger so I know that I've done 1 out of 10. And then I go through another 10, and then I drop another finger. And so that's 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I know I'm done. If you do not complete all 10, and you haven't dropped all 10 fingers, maybe you get to 7, then you know that you've completed 70. So you're going to write down 70 for your number, okay? The positioning of the body, let me show it to you. You can practice this. You're going to come down on your backs. And from here, I'm going to lift my head. I'm just going to show you what the trunk does. I'm going to lift my head, lift my shoulders, and then I'm going to point my chin down towards my chest. So I'm looking down at my belly button. And I'm going to keep my head rounded like this. Now you'll notice that the back starts to make contact with the mat. Well, now we're actually going to lift our legs up off of the mat and straighten them. So my legs are right above my hips here, and I'm going to hold this position. So now your lower back really should be connected. And this is where we begin our pumping. So we're just holding this position, and we're pumping our arms, and we're breathing, and we're counting. And that is the position that you'll hold. Now, if you break form, which means maybe your head comes back, or your legs start to come down, or you drop completely, that's when you are done with your 100. And you'll just make sure you write down wherever you completed on your hands that you were keeping count. So you're going to go ahead and practice the 100. So go ahead and pause the video and do your 100, and then come on back and you should have your result. Okay, so you've just practiced your 100. You put your results down, and now we're nice and warm. Our tummies are nice and warm, right? And we're going to move into what's called the Fab 5. So on the assessment, it says Fab 5, and it says 5 reps of all 5 exercises. So we're all going to test the same way this first time, which means you're going to learn 5 exercises, and you're going to practice those 5 exercises at 5 repetitions of each, okay? I'm going to do this with you, so you're going to keep my pace during this whole routine, so you don't need to pause the video during this time. But I do want to demonstrate the exercises independently of each other, so I'm going to teach you each one. I want you to practice each one, and then I'll put it together in the Fab 5 routine, and we'll go at it, okay? All right, so let's come on down to our backs. We're going to practice what's called single leg stretch. So single leg stretch, go ahead and bring your knees in. Now you're going to bring your head and your shoulders up, which means our chin is dropping to our chest, and we're looking at our belly button again, okay? Hands are over the top of our knees, and a single leg stretch looks like this. I'm going to pull one knee in with both hands on the top of the knee and extend the other leg out parallel to the floor. And then I'm going to switch. Same thing. So for it to count as one of the 5, both knees need to exchange. Knee in, that's 1, okay? And that's a single leg stretch. So one leg at a time, in and out. The second exercise is double leg stretch. So again, we'll start up, knees in, hands over the knees. We're going to extend both legs out and reach back with the arms. Sweep the arms around and pull those knees in. So it's out and in. That's double leg stretch. That's the second exercise. We'll do 5 of those. The next exercise is called crisscross, and so it's the third. We're going to go ahead and pull the knees in again. Head and shoulders up. We're going to bring our hands behind our neck. Now, we've done this before in our lives. We've done this what's called bicycle exercise, but this is called crisscross, so it's different. It's slow. We're going to do the single leg stretch with the legs, and then I'm going to rotate my trunk across my rib cage to meet my elbow with my opposite knee. And I keep my shoulders elevated, and I just rotate across the rib cage to connect the bent knee. So again, both knees need to exchange for it to count as 1. That's crisscross. The fourth exercise is single straight leg stretch. So this is very similar to the single leg stretch, but now our legs are straight. So go ahead and bring both legs tall. We're going to lift our head and shoulders up off the mat, still looking down at our belly button. I'm going to bring both hands behind my tall vertical leg, and I'm going to drop my bottom leg down to parallel position here. And I'm going to switch. And so each leg drop has to go for it to count as one. And that's single straight leg stretch. That's the fourth exercise. The fifth exercise is double straight legs, so both legs are going to go up and down. So we're going to go ahead and bring both legs up again. Head and shoulders are up. We're going to bring our hands behind our neck. Now, holding our head here, we're just going to drop both legs and lift both legs. And that will be our double straight. And that will be our final exercise of our Fab Five. So, 5 exercises, 5 repetitions of each in a row. I'm going to go through this with you. Be really clear about something before we get started. And that is that some of you will not finish with me, okay? So you'll be doing these exercises and then you'll actually stop to complete the 5. You're going to write down how many exercises you did completing the 5 repetitions, if that makes sense. So if you get through the crisscross, but you don't complete 5 repetitions of the single straight, then that will mean that you've only completed 3 and you didn't finish the 4th one. So you'll write a 3 down, okay? We're going to go ahead and go through this together. Come on down, bring your knees with you, head and shoulders up off the mat. We're going to start with the single leg stretch. Here we go. Knee in, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now both knees in, hands over the top, double leg. Reach out, sweep, pull it in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring your hands behind your head. We're going to go crisscross. Knee in, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring your legs all the way tall, hands behind the legs there. We're going to go single straight. Drop the leg, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Keep the legs tall, hands behind your head. Double straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. So if you did all 5 exercises, 5 repetitions, you're going to write down 5 for that Fab 5 number 1 result. Okay, and that just shows that you did all 5. Okay, good job. We're going to move on to the roll up. It's straight legs and it's slow. I'm going to demonstrate this and then you're going to do this on your own. So again, you're going to pause the video and practice the roll up and then write your result. And this is what you're going to practice. So you're going to come on down to your back, straight legs. Now, before we get started with our arm sweep, I want to practice this with you before you get going with the arms, what happens with the body, the trunk, okay? When I lift my head, go ahead and put your arms at your sides. When I lift my head, I'm immediately going to look down at my belly button and pull my shoulders up and forward, reaching forward with my arms. And when I do this, I'm going to try and press my abs down into the mat. And when I do that, I'm going to try and tighten my glutes, my butt, okay? And I'm going to try and pull myself up from here. So that's what's happening. Head, shoulders, abs, glutes, okay? And if you've ever done a sit-up, you've always tried to use momentum, or most likely use your back for strength to pull yourself up. Now you're not doing that. You're trying to use your abdominal wall and your glutes for strength to pull yourself up. This is what the roll-up looks like. You can go ahead and practice one. You're going to start with your arms outstretched behind you. I have a bum shoulder. My left shoulder doesn't extend all the way. My arm doesn't extend, but so you're going to reach all the way back with both arms. I'm going to lift or sweep my arms up over the top. And when I see my arms, I'm going to start to lift my head up and my shoulders. And I'm going to reach forward and I'm going to try and pull myself up and forward. And from here, I'm going to keep my back rounded, and I'm keep my back rounded, and I'm going to lower myself to the floor, slowly reaching back with my arms, head down. So it looks like this again, up, and I'm going to keep my legs on the floor and roll up and roll down. So you're going to count how many you can do. Now, if you get stuck right about here, and you can't get up any further from this, I want you to write down what is up off the mat. So my upper back is up off the mat, and that's what I'm going to write under my result. Upper back off mat, okay? Wherever you get stuck. Otherwise, you're going to see how many roll-ups you can do, and then you'll write down your result under number 1. So this is where you're going to pause the video, do your roll-ups, write your results, and then come on back. Okay, so you will have finished your roll-up and you wrote down your result, and so now we're moving on to push-up leg pull down. So we're going to go ahead and come up onto our knees. We're just going to warm up our arms, swinging them across and back. This push-up leg pull down, you are going to circle modified or traditional on your sheet. Now modified is with your knees down, and I'm going to demonstrate what that looks like. So you're going to bring your hands right outside your shoulders, and I'm going to bring my hips down. See this? My back is flat, my knees are down, and I'm going to do a push-up by just bending my elbows, and my whole trunk comes down, and I don't change the position of my trunk. I'm going to pull my knees up off the floor into this push-up position, and I'm going to lift one leg and transfer my leg back, bring it down, lift the other leg, transfer it back, bring it down, pull the knees down, and start again. Push up, leg pull down, leg pull down. That's 1, okay? And then I do this continuously until I'm done. If I want to do a traditional, my knees are off the floor for the push-up, leg pull down, that's 1, and then continuous until I'm done. So this is where you are going to pause the video, do your push-up leg pull down, write your result down, and then come on back. Okay, you've just finished your push-up leg pull down. We're going to go into what's called a spine stretch. Okay, let's practice this together. So go ahead and bring your feet outside the width of your mat. And we're just going to sit up tall here. We're going to practice some spine stretches together. Spine stretch is a great dynamic stretch. We're going to reach our arms up, and we're going to pitch forward with our arms and our trunk hinging at the hips. And then we're going to pull our arms in and round our back. And then I'm going to bring my arms up and flatten my back, nice tall trunk again. So it's forward and back and up. Each time you stretch forward, you're going to want to stretch a little bit further. Just increasing flexibility in that lower back and the glutes and the hamstrings. And then we're going to test this together. So we're just practicing, warming up. One more. Good. Now, the test is where the hands drop on the floor. So we're going to go one more stretch forward. And then I'm going to drop my hands as far as I can go. And then I am just going to write down where these hands drop. So for me, I have my wrists at my ankles. Some of you might be fingertips at heels. Some of you might be elbows at knees, okay? Whatever it is, just see where you go as far as you can go. And then you're gonna write down that result under your spine stretch, number 1, okay? So go ahead and do that. And then we're gonna move on to Superman pulls, and this is our last exercise that we are assessing, okay? So when you're ready, we're gonna turn over to our tummies. Superman pulls. So again, my arms don't completely extend, so you're gonna reach out with your arms however far you wanna go. So when you're on your tummy, I want you to practice this real quick with me. You're gonna go into what's called a Superman. That just means your arms and your legs are elevated. And then you're gonna pull your elbows back to your sides and then reach forward again and then come down. That's 1. And you'll do this until you're done, keeping count of how many Superman pulls you can do. Don't do more than 15 on the first test. So if you get to 15, go ahead and stop and then write that down. Or 10, whatever it is. Go ahead and do your Superman pulls, write down your result, and then come on back. So go ahead and pause the video and do your Superman pulls. Okay, so you're done with your Superman pulls. You've done your result there. And we're done with the testing. And so now you're going to answer some personal goals. So you're only putting your goals where it says by mid-semester. So by mid-semester, I would like to, and whatever goals you'd like to write down there. Just make sure that they're measurable, meaning you want to be able to compare or build upon whatever that goal is. So maybe it's a result of a test that you did on the assessment that you'd like to improve upon, right? So maybe I would like to improve by 5 on my breath duration. Whatever it is, make sure it's measurable. You're going to write it down. Just put a few down. Don't put too many. Maybe you didn't complete the roll up and you think you have a chance at getting at least 1 roll up. So maybe completing 1 roll up by mid-semester is important to you. Whatever it is, so you're going to write these mid-semester goals down. And then that's it. You're done. So remember to save this document. If you're putting your results on the document, make sure you save the document so that you can make sure you can use it for the next time that we do this. The next time we do this, it'll be at mid-semester, and those will be all the number 2 results that we will write down, okay? When you're done with your assessment, filling out everything, just make sure that you follow the directions about how to send this off to me to receive credit, okay? And that's it for the assessment. And next time I see you, we will be in our first session. If you have any questions, just make sure you can reach out to me. Not a big deal. I can get back to you pretty quickly, and we will go from here. So we'll see you next time.